So yesterday, I left work a little bit early to meet the internet guy. And in my rush to get out of the office, I left my AirPods on my desk. And I was so sad all evening.
You know what?
What?
I left my AirPods at my desk on Monday, so I didn't have them all day yesterday.
Because you were off.
Yes.
If I were a full day, I'd probably have to just swing by.
Yeah, it wasn't that important. I had other things going
So
How'd I live?
were you hardwired into your laptop to edit?
Oh, I'm always hardwired in. The Audacity, for whatever reason, even though it has a Bluetooth option, it will not work with Bluetooth. The Mac is kind of different. AirPods work with the Mac, but the individual application that you're running can prevent that from happening.
So
it doesn't work, even with the 64-bit version that I was hoping would fix that. So I have to hardwire in for that.
It's like you got to get back into the Matrix, and you're not Neo.
Mm-hmm.
Because Neo can get in without being hardwired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot him. I was kind of sad, but yeah, it didn't matter. There was a lot of people where I was at to talk to, so
sure.
I talked, edited the podcast, all that stuff.
Did that whole thing.
Yeah. So a little detail on what's going on with the recordings. So
I was just going to ask if we were going to let everybody in on...
Yeah, I think we should, because if there's something big that comes up in between now and the next 2 weeks, well, 1 week for whenever this one's released, but
sure,
if there's something in between episode 21 and episode 22, we will potentially miss it because we're recording episode 22 now, which is the same week that we recorded episode 21.
And episode 23 we're recording tomorrow, so you're not going to hear a new... like a updated live. We're not recording again until August 5th.
Yeah.
And today's the 17th.
Yep. We're going on vacations separately on separate weeks.
Yeah.
So
we didn't plan that, but yeah.
Yeah. So I go this next week, and
Mm-hmm.
then you go the following week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so it'll be good to... I mean, we've been 21 straight weeks recording, which
is kind of crazy that
I don't think we would have thought we would have gone 21 straight weeks when we started this thing.
Nah, I figured there'd be something
would come up.
Something would come up. You would be like, I'm done with this. I hate your face.
Yeah. I'm tired of talking to you on my lunch break every day.
You might hate my face. I don't know. You still record the podcast with me.
Yeah.
So yeah. So this one's a little ahead of the release date by about a week, and then the one that we're going to record tomorrow will be 2 weeks ahead of the release date. So, yeah. But anyways, so I can't say what did you do this weekend because
we already talked about.
We already talked.
I did have my internet installed last night.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It went well.
Did you get your speed?
I got my speed a little better than I ran. So I didn't know this until a couple of years ago, which maybe that's as long as it's been out, but Netflix has its own speed test that makes me feel a lot safer than going to like testmyspeed.com or internetspeedtest.com, because I always feel like they're giving you a virus when they're uploading.
They're just capturing all of your data.
Or that. Yeah. How fast can we upload everything that you have? So, yeah, fast.com seems a little safer to me for whatever reason. And yeah, I paid for 400 and I had 450 on my phone. Megabytes per second.
It's wicked fast.
Wicked fast. And I have TV for the first time in 10 years.
So yeah, it's TV for the first time 10 years.
Yeah, so
Did you watch some commercials?
I didn't, because I wasn't on a commercial channel.
What?
Yeah.
Channel's that?
Or maybe I was. It was on in the background. I was working on podcast notes too. Right. But anyway, downstairs we had some connection issues at first, and so the only channel that was coming in was channel 3, which doesn't matter, but it happened to be a Royals game that was just starting, and the guy was like, I don't know what's going on, but all you get is this. And where we live, most people are Cardinals fans.
Yeah.
And so this had an undertone to it. And
he was just disgruntled about it.
Right, and I was like, I like the Royals, so this, this is fine, but...
He's like, oh, we're done here.
Yeah. But anyway, they got it fixed before they left, and yeah, I watched Sports Center for the first time, not in a hotel room. Nice. In 10 years.
That's hilarious. So that's your go-to whenever you go to a hotel room. You're like, all right, let's go to Sports Center.
I just need to see ESPN for a minute.
See, I'm that way with like the History Channel. Like, I haven't had the History Channel in a long time, so I'm like, I gotta go there. And then it's usually just like swamp dudes.
Fake squatches and fake mermaids.
Swamp hunters.
And, that turtle show, guy. Isn't that show where they buy a storage unit?
Yeah, I think that's on there. I don't know.
It became not the History Channel, or it's all Nazis.
Well, that's how all of them have. A&E is no longer Arts and Entertainment. It's Live PD.
Right.
Hey, Chad.
What's up, dude?
How does a penguin build a house?
Well, since they live where it's cold, I imagine that they saw up blocks of ice and stacked them into an igloo formation. And that's how the native people to those lands figured out how to build igloos.
You made this joke really boring.
Hey, Mike, how do penguins build houses?
Oh. Igloos it together.
I was right on igloos.
You were right.
Igloos it together.
Totally dragged it through the mud. Oh, man. Jeez. So, today, you had brought up a topic on our last podcast about
Libra.
You had notes.
Oh, yes.
Well, that too. You brought that up in our last podcast.
Yeah.
But you had notes about you will one day get an Apple Watch.
Yes.
And we said we would talk about that later.
Yeah.
So I think we should talk about that today.
Okay.
And then I think you had some stuff to follow up on.
Yeah, I have a little update on Libra.
And I have... I want to talk about a YouTube video that I am pretty sure that I'm going to film. And then edit while I'm on vacation.
You should say you have a YouTube video you're going to produce, because it sounds fancier.
Okay. I have a YouTube video I'm going to produce. And then edit on vacation.
Putting out that tent content.
Oh.
It's what people
in the
biz call it.
I am not hip. All right, so you want to talk about this stuff?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
All right.
Welcome back to Lunchtime Tech Talk. I'm Chad.
I'm Mike. So did you want to talk about Libra first?
Yeah, let's jump into that since it's just a little update.
Okay.
So apparently the Swiss are going to regulate Libra. And this week, they haven't occurred yet, but this week the U.S. Senate is also holding hearings with the head officer from the Libra Association. His last name's Marcus, and so everything's just been calling him Mr. Marcus. But Marcus has stated that, like, while they plan to launch early 2020, they're not going to move forward with anything until all officials, foreign and domestic, are satisfied. And so it's kind of interesting because it's not, they could just launch the thing and there's nothing that anybody can do about it.
Isn't that weird? You could just make a currency.
But so this is what I was saying last week, but the article I read reiterated this. It is not an investment option. This is not a speculative currency. There would be no point in buying it and holding on to it, hoping that it rises in value. So, from that standpoint, they're arguing that the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, don't have any foothold in saying, we want to regulate this. Because they don't regulate the dollar. So you can't regulate us because we're not speculative.
Okay.
And so from that standpoint, they don't feel like they can be regulated. They also said that they feel they will never replace central banks or, national currencies. And so that was something that you and I had kind of mentioned in the last podcast. Like, hey, one day, even if it's 100 years from now, is this going to be like a world currency that, you know, that does away with everything else? And the more I thought about that too, like, if your value is held steady by other currencies, then in turn you can't replace them. So anyway, they're trying, you know, Facebook is good at arguing in front of Congress because it's a bunch of old people who don't understand what the hell they're talking about.
This is true.
And
especially when they asked Mark Zuckerberg how they make money off of a free application.
How do you make money if it's free?
Mr. Senator, we sell ads. Was the most legit gangster awesome answer ever. Because it had all the respect and all the disrespect just bundled up in the shortest little sentence.
It was the truth.
Mr. Senator, we sell ads. Yeah. And the little, it was a smirk, but it wasn't. It was just right there at the corner of his mouth. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like him, but I liked that. Yeah. Yeah. Because you should put them in their place when they're that stupid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But, so this is kind of interesting, this whole Libra thing. I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
Because something's gonna happen, right?
Absolutely.
These things are out there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat to know how this thing's working.
Yeah. And the reason I said, you know, if they really wanted to, they could just launch it. The Wall Street Journal was another article. I was reading. I've gotten fascinated by all of this. And so I'm just kind of reading everything I can get my hands on. But in the middle of their article, they had a video that was like, if you really want to understand how something works, you either take it apart or build one, right? And it was like, so we made a cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So apparently I don't know if it's still up and running, but the Wall Street Journal made a crypto and put it out there for the world to use, at least for some amount of time. I didn't click on the video. But anyway, that's why, you know, because of how they're wanting the value to stay stable and all of that sort of thing, like, they're working with the government as much as they want to, you know?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they could just release it and say, here it is.
Yeah, because apparently, I mean, what did you say? That's at the New York Times?
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
They just made their own.
Yeah.
And they released it.
And Bitcoin's out there. I mean, all of the cryptos are just out there.
Yeah.
Nobody has, yeah.
That's really cool.
It's interesting.
I can't wait to see what happens with this. It makes me nervous, but it's kind of exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
So, Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Someday you want to get one.
Yeah. And
what made you go this route? What was the tipping point of like, you know what? I think, because you've gone through a couple watches. You bought the...
This is my first... Well, okay.
You bought the other watch.
I had the Withings.
Yeah. And then...
that was when I was like, you know, I want a fitness tracker. I want to know my steps and some of that sort of stuff. Because that, you know, that's a curiosity thing. But I was like, I guess I was being kind of hipster. I've never been a hipster about anything in my life. But I was like, I just want an analog watch. So I had a nice watch with a nice leather band, white face, 40-something millimeters, like just a watch with some dials on it. Yeah. But then I had an app that was connected to it that gave me all that. And honestly, I might still be wearing that if it hadn't kept fogging under the glass. Yeah. It got real annoying. But anyway, from there, I bought this Garmin that I have. Yep. The 935 Forerunner. But the other day, I changed into my running clothes at home. I grabbed my AirPods off my nightstand, put those in my ear, got out the front door, got my watch all synced up with the lights, and got ready to run, and had left my phone on purpose. I thought, hey, should I take my phone? No, I'm not going that far from the house. I don't need it. Yeah. I have no way to play the headphones that are in my ear.
So you had your headphones.
Yeah, but nothing to play. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, how did this actually happen? And I came to the conclusion that because they're truly wireless Bluetooth headphones. Like, I had the band behind the neck before.
Yeah.
Wireless, but like they still have a wire. It still feels like old school headphones. Like, you're always tethered to whatever you're listening to.
Right.
And because these are truly wireless, like, I guess I just got it in my head that they would work on their own. Mm-hmm. And I don't need my phone. And you really don't need your phone.
Right.
But I still do.
Yeah.
Because not Apple Watch.
Right.
And so that was the first time ever that I was like, I really wish that I had some way to go out for a run and not have to have my phone. And yeah, so that'll probably happen now at some point.
Yeah.
For that reason alone.
Let's pause.
So I still like the battery life on mine and some of those kind of more low-key features that we talked about, but like having like the EKG stuff, that'd be fun. And it seems, I don't know. I probably won't buy one until this one just literally stops working, because I can't right now foresee me forking out $400.
I got a solution
to replace something that already works.
I've got a solution for you.
A watch on each wrist?
Nope.
Oh.
For the money. So, I bought all my Apple Watches brand new.
Uh-huh.
And I have paid for the 42 millimeter top of the line aluminum version.
Uh-huh.
I don't ever go with the stainless steel because I don't think it's necessary. Never had any issues with the aluminums. They've held up really well. I've had a watch since day one of the Apple Watch. And I have paid...
That's impressive. You're one of those early adopter people.
Yeah, I was really sold on it whenever they announced it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't care what this thing can and can't do. I want that thing.
I want it.
So, I think I paid $400 for the first one, and then now I've got a Series 3 with LTE 42 millimeter, and I paid $425 for it. But now they've got the Series 4 out, and that's roughly the price for that particular model. My dad was interested in the Apple Watch because he wanted to use it for his treadmill walks and to monitor his heart and all that stuff.
Sure.
And so he started looking at Apple Watches, and he was going to buy one used on Facebook Marketplace. And I told him, I said, you got to be kind of careful because you got to make sure that it wasn't stolen and that it is actually fully reset.
Uh-huh.
Because if it's not fully reset and it's still tied to an iCloud account, it's going to get iCloud locked. And then once something's iCloud locked, it's done.
Until you find the original owner.
Yeah, the original owner would need to have the password and all that stuff. So, I mean, that's easy to prove. It's easy to get around that, but it's a stress point. So he was looking on eBay. And on eBay, he started finding that you can buy last year's Apple Watches. So now they're on a Series 4. You can buy a Series 3 Apple Watch.
What you currently have on your wrist.
What I currently have. The exact model that I have on my wrist, you can find it anywhere between $189 and like $230.
So now I'm an eBay layman. I don't have an eBay account.
Oh my God, you don't have eBay or PayPal.
I don't have a PayPal account.
Well, here's why you don't have an eBay account.
Because,
this is my
I thought
theory.
you were going to say, here's why you don't have a PayPal account. Because you don't have an eBay account.
No, well, that too. Here's my theory on why you don't have an eBay account, and I've just noticed this by monitoring your purchasing activity.
Are you about to dig deep into my soul?
Dig deep in your purchasing history. You typically don't like to buy anything that could have been used or might not be from like a company that you know.
Yeah. Facts. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Chad doesn't like... Whoa, that's weird. I can't talk about myself in the third person. I want to be able to return something or talk to someone if I have an issue or just all around. Like, so I bought a Nest thermostat with Prime Day. And there were some crazy low, good, second party deals.
Mm-hmm.
But like with 74% seller ratings on Amazon. And like I'm not gonna,
you won't even trust
I'm not gonna
the
do
Amazon.
That. They weren't even being shipped from Amazon. Like it was just listed on there. And I don't want to do it.
Gotta trust it, dude.
So
Amazon will back you.
So these
will
prices
eBay.
on eBay.
Yes.
Is eBay still... I'm going to show my ass here. Is eBay still like just a bidding site? Or like when you talk about these prices, are some of these just like legit, here's what you pay and you can have this thing?
These are buy it now prices.
Okay.
So eBay it was, like you said, a long time ago, just a bidding place, right? Where you could just bid and you could sell and you hope that you got a lot of money for your stuff and you took a chance on not getting a lot of money for your stuff.
Right.
But then several years after they launched, they added a buy it now option.
Okay.
And so if you really wanted an item and the customer or the seller said, you know what, I'm going to put this in for auction and I'm going to start it out at $1, but I'm going to put a buy it now price on there. $200. And so if you came along it and you're like, I really want this, I'm willing to pay $200, buy it now. You're done. You don't have to go through the auction thing. It closes. It's done. It's good.
And you own it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's a lot of Apple Watches out there that get certified refurbished. And me knowing you, I don't think you're a refurbished person either.
I don't want my new thing to have ever been on anyone else's wrist or whatever.
I think you're missing out.
I know.
I buy so much stuff refurbished. And it's all... Here's the thing that I see with refurbished. If it's a factory refurbished item, it's gone back and brand new parts have been put in it, and it's better than what the original one or a brand new one is. Because you don't know if the brand new one's going to have the old bad part in it. Because it could have been sitting on the shelf for a couple months, and then they could have fixed it. So I'm a big refurbished fan because anytime I can save some money, I'm going to take a chance. So my dad found these things, and like for instance, you can get a 42 millimeter Apple Watch Series 3 with cellular in a space gray for $189 to $209, and it's on all of these things. You can do a protection plan on them. Like this is what my dad did. He paid $26. I think this might even be the exact one that he did. He paid $26, and it's a 3-year protection plan that's backed by Square Trade. So essentially, it's not like they're going to give you a replacement for it. They're just going to give you a refund of the money. So then you could go buy one. But also with all of these eBay things is that they do have reviews. So as you can see here, like this particular seller has 4.8 out of 5 stars. So you can go through here and you can kind of see almost just like Amazon.
Yeah, and all their percentages are up in the 90s.
And like this particular one accepts, and this seems to be almost a standard from all these that I've looked at, they accept like 30-day returns, free shipping, free returns, no questions asked. So if you got this item and it had, because a lot of these say that they might have a blemish on them.
Yeah.
My dad said that his would have a blemish on them, and it's literally on the underside, on the side, and it's just a little bitty
little nick. Not
even a nick. It looks like you could rub the thing off with your hand, but it's a little spot. So yeah, after seeing that he got such a good deal for that, I started looking because my wife wants a new one because she has a Series 1, and you can get the 38 millimeters for even cheaper, and if you don't want cellular, you can get them for $160, and it's got GPS in it.
Yeah. It's
so much cheaper than buying a brand new one, because I want to say a brand new Apple Watch Series 3 with cellular is still $325. It's very expensive. So what I'm thinking is when my wife does get a new one, she'll get one like this, and then whenever the Series 5 comes out, I'm going to start watching for Series 4 to show up on here. But yeah, no, you can get into it for super cheap now, which is amazing. And there's actually all kinds of other Apple products. Like if you wanted to get into the Apple ecosystem and you wanted to get a phone and you didn't want to pay $700 to $1,400,
right?
You can get like a 5S, not a 5S, a 5S or the SE, the iPhone SE, the smaller one. You can get those for like $150.
Yeah.
But so I'm thinking about making a YouTube video.
A video.
For my Run Bike Mic channel.
Mm-hmm.
That is not run or bike related, but it's mic related.
Mic related.
So I got my new mower, as you know, which is not new anymore.
It has Ferris wheels on it.
It is. It is now officially 15.9 hours in use.
That's like a summer's worth for most people.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, that's 16 mows for me.
Yeah. Well, on this one, it would be 150 mows because of how big it is and how fast it is.
Oh, if I were using my yard.
Yeah. drink, done.
When you...
I mowed my in-laws' yard with it. It took me like 10 minutes to mow the whole yard. And he even had, my father-in-law has a riding mower. I think it takes him like 25 minutes to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. It's not meant for a residential yard.
No. You had like 2 stripes in the front yard, right? Just one down and one back?
Something like that. So
did you just mow over his trees?
I did.
Because it's so powerful.
I just mowed over all of them, and then the power box and all that stuff.
Awesome.
Just
that's what I would have done.
Our cars were in the way, so I mowed over those. A couple dogs and cats. Went through the fence.
But his grass is cut.
It's done.
It's all done.
It's all done. It's got a lot of debris in it. But so I'm thinking about making a video for it. So I just, you know this, I've struggled with this because my interests change every so often, and I've got this channel where it's dedicated for running and biking, and honestly, I really do mainly biking stuff on it because it's really hard to do anything running.
And people, here's what I keep saying every time he says this. The channel is called Run, Bike, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Mike covers anything that Mike is interested in.
Which this is the reason why I want to do this, because you brought this up. Like, that makes me think that it's okay for me to go ahead and do this video.
It's absolutely okay.
Because there's, honestly, I do a segment of tools I build my trail with, which kind of segues into tools that I like, that I use. And I have a pole saw, Cobalt pole saw, and that one I'm getting so much traction with. A lot of people are looking at it. A lot of people are commenting on it.
Yeah, you've told me that that's like your biggest hit video.
It's probably the one that's getting the most views at this moment in time. It's not my most popular video
so
overall,
the
but
most
time frame.
Current traffic.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's becoming more consistent, and it'll soon pass over all my other videos because it's just continually getting viewed. So I think I'm going to do this mower video, and I think I'm going to shoot it before I go on vacation. And then I'm going to edit it, and then hopefully while I'm on vacation, I will drop a new video on Run Bike Mike about my lawnmower, because there are no reviews on the lawnmower that I have on YouTube at all, because it just came out this year, and it would be really nice to be the first one to put a video out about this mower.
Yeah.
Because I'm on a internet forum where they talk about this brand of mowers, and a lot of people are buying them right now. So
you need to get, this is a prime example of striking while the iron's hot.
I know. I sit there and I think about it, and then somebody beats me to the punch.
Right, because you think you are thinking about this as much as I think about purchasing a Nest thermostat. I wanted to say thermometer. Jeez.
Yeah, so I'm going to quit thinking about it. I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to try to put it together and throw it on the internets.
and drop it like it's hot.
I hope it's a hot one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my YouTube thing.
That's your YouTube thing.
Yeah, nothing special. I just kind of want to say, hey, thanks for giving me that little tidbit of, hey, it's not just run bike, it's also Mike.
Right.
It's what you want to put out there.
Yeah.
So I know it's not going to go with the traditional, like, this is what my channel's about, but I don't really know if there's a traditional this is what my channel's about at this point. Yeah. Okay. Crazy Tech?
Crazy Tech. It ain't nothing but crazy tech, baby. Two sick podcasters going crazy. Patreon is the label that pays me.
I was wondering if you were going to add to it.
I just made that up.
That was good.
I was like, I don't know.
We wish Patreon was.
We wish they paid us.
I wish anybody paid us to do this,
right?
But sadly they don't.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Did
fine.
you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
You and I already talked about this, but I decided to make it my crazy tech too.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the mall the other day. That's almost an antiquated sentence.
Yeah, what is that?
So it's really hot out right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been taking our babies there to take them on walks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mall walker.
They're 14 months old. They're kind of almost not babies anymore, but they're still babies.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, we were walking through Sears, also almost an antiquated sentence, and I saw, like, single-room air conditioners. Yeah, everybody knows about those. Not like a window unit.
Okay.
Or not like one of those ductless
Mm-hmm.
AC things that you still have the fan outside, but it's running Freon back and forth.
Yeah.
Not one of those.
Okay.
Like, it's like a space heater. It stands alone
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of your room, and they had two different units. There were two different prices that had two different BTU ratings, but like they were for 300 to 500 square foot rooms.
Okay.
And so I have an upstairs that's over my garage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bedroom, a living room, and a bathroom. It does not have its own thermostat unit.
Mm-hmm.
It's all one house.
Yeah.
And in the summer or in the winter, it's fine. Like, it's a little bit warmer up there sometimes, but sometimes it's a little bit cooler than the rest of the house. Like, it just kind of depends. But it's totally livable. In the summer, it is hot.
Yeah.
Like, by about 10 degrees from what the downstairs is.
Right.
And there's just, I've wondered what to do. I've looked at those ductless systems, but they're a few $1,000s.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to hire someone to come out and put it in.
Yep.
Because they're intense.
They're nice.
They are.
But they're...
Yeah. But
it's
even
then... It's like getting a tiny, tiny air conditioner unit installed. It's that much
But
labor.
even then, it's only one vent. And I still don't know that it would work for my kind of 3-room long
mm-hmm.
setup.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of looking at these. They're $300 or $400. So that's not crazy to,
Yeah, that's pretty cheap.
Jump in and say, hey, this could work.
And if you bought it somewhere local, you could just buy it, or even Amazon. You could buy it, and you probably have 30 days.
Right, to try it.
You would want to buy it like this.
Right.
You don't want to buy it in the winter.
It is going to be 95 degrees here
But
today,
that's
folks.
probably the worst time to buy it, because that's whenever they're probably jacking the prices up. But that's when you want to test it.
But that's when I want to, have it in home and see if it's working or not. But so I don't know. I was thinking, I'd never even heard of these, and I saw it, and I was thinking down the road, because the upstairs is probably going to end up kind of being the kids' area. There's a TV up there and stuff, and so when they get a little bit older and they're up there more,
yeah, it'd be like a playroom.
Yeah, then they'll have a cool space. Because right now, when I'm up there, like I was up there last night working on the podcast, I sit on the couch directly in front of a vent, and it blows on the back of my head, and it feels amazing. But if you're anywhere else in the room, like it's warm.
Yeah,
so
it gets hot. That's kind of my last house. We had an in-wall unit, which is kind of like a window unit, but it's actually built into the wall, kind of like a hotel.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have that, it would have been a scorcher up there.
Right.
During like today's day, where it's like it feels like 104, 105.
And I was thinking about it even beyond just, hey, this exists, isn't that neat? Like, I don't think it would have to run that much. Because because they have a thermostat.
Yeah.
As long as I set it what my house is set at.
Right.
My
it's
house
only
is
drop
working.
At 10 degrees.
Right. Yeah, it's not like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good idea. That way, especially if you have, like, any guests over.
Because our guest room is up there.
They could pull that thing into that bedroom at night. And
close the door
keep
even.
their room
and then,
cool.
Yeah. So, anyway.
It is weird how, like, I don't remember ever seeing those things. Like, as a kid, this must be literally a newer thing.
It must be relatively new, at least. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you and I haven't been in the market.
Yeah.
But it seems like a new thing, because it seems like everybody back in the...
Jeez.
Seems like everybody back in the day had window units.
Right.
So...
Right. And that's still the cheapest way to go. I can't use one. All of my upstairs windows are cranks.
Oh, you got the casement windows. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I take that back. The one off the front of my house is a slide up and down. But I'm not.
You don't want that. You don't want that. Yeah, no, you live in a very nice neighborhood. You don't need an AC.
I live in a nicer neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the front of my house is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's
very nice.
It's the only thing that got us in the door to look at it, because it's kind of older French country, and I just knew once we got inside, like, it was going to be super modern and it wasn't going to match the outside of the house, and that wasn't the case. But the way it looked on the outside was the only reason we even went and looked at it.
Yeah, curb appeal. So yeah, a window unit above my garage would not be good. All that. Yeah, I don't know if the wife would like that kind of curb appeal. Maybe an RV in the front yard.
Yeah, even better. And probably like an old busted down Pinto.
Just setting standards is all you're doing.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. My crazy tech is something that's not actually out yet, but
ooh,
I'm sure you've heard of this company.
Coming soon to a theater near you, Crazy Tech.
Yes. I'm sure you've heard of this company, and so have probably a lot of our listeners. Boston Dynamics.
I haven't heard of them, but that's not saying anything.
The robots.
What
the
robots?
Ones where they kick them and then they don't fall over.
The dogs?
The dogs, and then the two-footed robots that can do parkour now.
Oh, I haven't seen those, but I've seen the dog. I feel so bad when they kick the dog, because that dog is going to get sentient, and it is coming for us.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you.
I remember all those times you kicked me sideways.
I remember it. I don't have teeth, but I got a claw.
Right? And I'm a freaking robot.
So Boston Dynamics is actually starting their plans of releasing a dog-like robot called Spot to the general public.
Okay.
They haven't seen any prices on this, but basically it looks exactly like the ones that you'll see in YouTube videos. If you just Google Boston Dynamics,
that's how it starts.
Dog, you see them. They're everywhere. They kind of looked like the size of a cow when they first started, because they had all kinds of stuff around it because it would fall over all the time. And now these things they can attach claws to them, and they can open doors, and they can run, and they can jump, and they can do back flips and front flips and who's a what's it's, all kinds of things. It's kind of creepy if you watch these videos.
This is how it starts, people.
Yeah. So they are going to be releasing a dog-like robot that you can buy, put in your house. I can only imagine this thing has got to be super expensive. But I also think that they're going to require you to connect it to the internet so they can get data back from it. Because
this is for real how it starts.
Essentially, what they want to be able to do is get the data of how these things are interacting with the real life world.
That's slick.
Yeah, it looks
it's
like
very streamlined.
And I haven't found any pictures of it like next to a person, but to me it kind of looked like it might be the size of like a lab.
It's 0.84 meters tall. A meter is around 3 feet.
So it's pretty
tall. So
tall.
it's 2.5 feet tall?
Yeah. So I don't know how tall a lab is, but it's like a big dog. But I thought it was kind of neat that they're putting this thing out in the public. We've seen these things on the internet for years, and it looks really interesting.
I love how it like gets trotting before it actually takes off. It's so cute. I'm gonna post this video, guys.
Yeah, Chad just pulled up a video, and that's probably from Boston Dynamics.
It is. It's on their website.
I mean, these things look so cool. I really think that these little dogs will be really, really useful for people who have any type of special needs, because it could do things like open doors for you. It could open up a refrigerator and get an item out of it. It could potentially be like a guide dog, right? Because you can put all kinds of sensors on these things and it'll know whenever something's in the way.
Sure, yeah.
But the only crazy part about this whole thing is that it's all tied into like AI.
Yeah.
So this thing could potentially get smarter as you own it.
Uh-huh. And it could decide that you're not in its best interest.
Yes, when the Terminator revolution happens. Yeah, it is really
Wasn't
cool.
that the premises of iRobot? Like the 3 rules, one of the rules is like you have to protect humans.
Yeah.
And the mainframe iRobot mother lord had decided that humans were their own worst enemies, so she had to get rid of all the humans.
Yeah. And that's how all that stuff starts.
Right.
That's how Skynet was in Terminator.
Yeah.
And, you know, Elon Musk seems to think that we're heading in that direction, and we need to be very careful about it. But for now, I mean, if you want to be part of the destruction of the world, you can buy one of these robots sometime soon. I saw a picture, and I don't know how tall this guy is, but it's between knee and waist height, and it weighs 30 kilograms, which is times 2.2 for pounds, so around 64 pounds. Yeah.
It could get moving and leap at your chest and take you out.
Yeah. It's neat.
It is neat.
I know
it looks really
murder me, but
it looks
if
really
I could
cute.
have a robot dog to do something around my house, it might be kind of cool.
You know what a robot dog wouldn't do that my current dog is doing a lot of?
Go into the bathroom in your house?
Yep.
Unless it's got oil in it. I hope it doesn't.
Well, it probably doesn't run on gas, so that it doesn't need oil, right?
Wouldn't that be the worst? Like, this is the gas-powered version. Somebody start up Spot. This really didn't work out like we thought it was.
You got all that exhaust in your house.
So would you buy a robot dog?
Yep.
I love how you're like, this is the end of the world. This is the end of the world. Would you buy it? Yes.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
It's mine.
Because here's the thing.
I'm on the list. I actually bought one.
Here's the thing. There's a chance that I could develop such a special connection with my dog that it protects all of the rest of us from the dogs.
Yes. And I like how you're going to buy Spot with the idea that
to protect all of you.
Your Spot dog will protect the world.
Hey, there was one iRobot that...
This is true. You make good points.
I know, right?
You make good points. But anyways, that's all I've got for today. How about you?
That's all I've got too.
All right. Well, I know that this isn't the week that we're releasing this, but we will see you in the week that...
We love you all very much. You can find us on the internet. You can find all of our show notes at LunchTimeTechTalk.com. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can leave a review and rate us there and share us with all your friends because we need more listeners. And you can find us on social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram at Lunchtime Tech Talk and on Twitter at Lunchtime Tech T1. You can find me. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at MSUMac. That's MSUMACC. Mike, where you at?
You can find me at RunBikeMike on Instagram and YouTube, and I did this backwards. And you can find me at run_bike_Mike on Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Backwards is fine. You still said it all.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for spending your lunch with us. Bye.
See ya.